Hello and welcome. My name is Melody and this is episode 20 of the Melody Crochet podcast. I come to you from my home in Texas to talk to you about my yarn life in general. I have 2 dogs, 2 kids, 1 husband. I hope that you're doing well. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you have any suggestions for the upcoming month, I'm going to be posting every day in February because it is birth month. Today is January 31st. I'm very excited to share with you all of my finished objects and everything because tomorrow also starts the Granny along with Rosina over at Zines and Roger. And I'm super excited. I'm just super excited about that. I have so many things that I have wanted to Granny over the years and I kind of procrastinated and put them off. And I'm just going to go in head first on all of them starting tomorrow. So that's going to be really fabulous and a great way to also celebrate birth month. So let's see, what first? I have a few finished objects, a few works in progress, some things that I've acquired, a present to share. It's going to be fabulous. I'm really excited. First off and foremost is a shawl that I finished. My first finished object is the Rocks Under the Water shawl, and there is a front and a back. It is knitted and the pattern is by Vanessa Ewing and it's going to be in a magazine this month. It just came out and I had to hold off before sharing so that she could get that published and everything. So I am loving it. It is beautiful. The size needle was size 6. I used Nova Platinas and a 40-inch wire. And then the yarn is Madeline Tosh DK Twist, and this is Mandala, which is gorgeous. Isn't that pretty? And this is Dahlia, and I used 1 skein each. So I'm really pleased with it. I enjoy it very much. It smells so good. And a DK shawl does go rather fast, although I did have challenges. I'm usually a chart knitter and crocheter, but this one I just didn't stick. I had to try 6 times to start and I thought something might have been with the pattern. There was a few times I caught some issues with the pattern and they were all fixed up, and then I got caught, and after a few times I figured I would just get in contact with her, and it turned out everybody else was doing just fine. So it was me. But I think a lot of other people might also have been working from the worded pattern. Maybe that was the thing, because I just could not end up where I was supposed to when working from the chart, and it was consistently the same spot. So might be me. I might just be hitting a snag somewhere and just hit the same snag over and over. It wouldn't be the first time, but I love it very much. It's going to be fabulous worn as a shawl and bandana style. So it's a great length. It's 56 inches wide and 26 inches deep at the tallest part, which is perfect for me because I'm about 5'5" and I don't need anything massive. Some of the people that made this shawl ended up with shawls closer to 80-90 inches wide, and I'm really glad that I didn't, because that would have been too much shawl for me. This is perfect. So pretty. I love it. If you get a chance and you see it, it's called the Rocks Under the Water shawl by Vanessa Ewing, and I cannot suggest the Madeline Tosh DK Twist or their other DK weight yarn either. They're both fabulous. I bought 5 balls of this in different colors. I actually have another one of these left, and this was my last Dahlia though. And I bought 5 balls total from the DFW Fiberfest about 2 years ago because I was going to make a Karina Spencer shawl with it. Then I found out that it was to comfort people who had lost babies or lost someone in their life, which made the pattern, I didn't want to really make it since I wasn't commemorating anything. It felt a little awkward, so I didn't make it, which probably should have anyway. Printed it out and everything because it's gorgeous. It's called the Far and Away shawl, and I just never did. So I've had this yarn for over 2 years and I want more now. I can't wait to see what colors they have next year. I hope that they are there at DFW Fiberfest. They weren't there at the last yarn festival, and they're usually everywhere because they're local to me. I know, Madeline Tosh is local to me. Oh, they had a shop before. It was gorgeous, but they closed the actual open to the public store. And I stalk their Instagram. The colors are just breathtaking. The new kinds of yarn they get, oh my gosh, so pretty. But I tend to stick with the Tosh Merino DK. I like the DK, and the Toshmo Light, the single ply. Very pretty. Their sock isn't bad, but as a rule with the local stuff, if I go for a sock weight yarn, I'm in Malabrigo. I think it's just a color range that I lean toward, but the bases are really nice. So, wonderful. I have another shawl finished object. For some reason, as a crocheter, I always think faux is fasten off. Does anybody else do that? So, it's finished object. And this is my next one. This was to participate in the One Skein Wonder Christmas Eve cast on with Faye over at the Crochet Circle. And I do believe the other person she was doing this with is, I know her name was Charlie, but there's a Sweet Charlie? There's another podcaster that she's doing this with, and I haven't gotten to watch that one. I think I watched a couple minutes, but I do love Faye. Faye is just fabulous, and I put this in the finished object thread. And this is my Fortune's Shawlette by Moogly blog. Tamara Kelly is Moogly blog, and she has some beautiful free patterns on Ravelry if you get a chance to take a peek. This makes me so happy. It opened up so much when I blocked it. It smells really good. It smells like lemon blueberry from Tufts Woolens. I'm like, I finished this shortly after sharing the started object with you guys last time I podcasted, but it wasn't finished because it took until yesterday for me to decide between fringe and tassels. So I went tassels, and I'm glad I did because they really help it stay on when I wear it bandana style. So there it is. I got this yarn last year. This is the Dream in Color Smooshy with Cashmere in the color Carousel. I got several balls of it last year for my birthday yarn, and I turned it into a sweater, which is fabulous, but it's a really open sweater. So it's one of those sweaters that you can, it's almost difficult to wear. It's nice for warm days when you like run into the store and you know there's going to be air conditioning, if that makes sense. It's really open, it's really light, but in Texas, it's kind of like 115 or 40 degrees. Like today it's 50. The sun's out and it's gorgeous, but if I'm wearing a sweater, I'm going to need something a little heavier, but I do love to look at it. It's rather pretty to look at. So this is the rest of that yarn, and it is 93 grams because for the One Skein Wonder Cal, we needed to be in under 100 grams. And this is the One Skein Wonder Fortune Shawlette. 93 grams total. And I gave it a measure just to make sure, because I didn't know. I had a little left of 2 balls. I measured them together and they were just over, but I knew I wasn't going to use them all. So I kind of had to make sure that I was in the 100 gram range, and it's 93 grams. So I used a J-hook. I love the way those colors are dispersed by this pattern. It was so easy, so potato chippy. By the time you're on the 3rd row, you totally know it and you just go for it. I want to say for about 40 rows, around that. And then it has a little bit of a border, which I'm glad it did because it was a bit rough on the edges, probably because of the way I did the pattern. You know, sometimes you don't chain into the exact chain that you're supposed to. I love crochet. I do it all the time and everywhere, so it's not always perfect, right? So it's nice to have a little border to cover up for the occasional boo-boos if something's a little jagged on the edges. And I really like that border. Super simple. I think she wanted one more row where it got a little bit flowery and had a picot. I'm not a picot girl. I'm a smooth edge kind of a girl. And I love the way this turned out, and I will be making more. If I get any more favorite yarns that just onesie balls, because they're everywhere. I am constantly seeing just a onesie ball of yarn, and my first gut instinct is to make a sock head hat, but not every colorful bit of yarn should be on my head. I'm learning that slowly. So that is my second finished object. I believe my last yarn related one, although the next one's kind of yarn related. I dealt with the evil machine and made a project bag for Halloween. Super excited. I just used a black ribbon. It is not lined. It's super, what do you call it? Rustic. But I just love the fabric. I went and it was beautiful. So basically, I started off knowing that this conversation heart fabric needed to be a skirt. So I made a skirt, which I like very much. I have my pockets in here. It looks pretty short because I like to wear them lower on my hips, and I like to wear them over tights, like black tights and such. So that evil machine, after I sewed in the pockets and then I sewed down the sides, it died 2 inches before I was done with my hem. Can you believe that? 2 inches. That's just an insult. I was so mad at it. And I had not yet done my waistband or my bag. So my waistband and my bag are super simple in a basted stitch. Because I was finishing it. I wanted that skirt, right? And my husband's been working his crazy hours. It's about done now, but every 3 months he has crazy hours. And so I wasn't going to have him on his like sleep deprived mode come home and fix my sewing machine. So I just basted it. It was really bad. It just started making a terrible grinding machine behind the tension stuff. And yeah. It was bad. It's definitely metal on metal grinding. And it's not dirty. It's been cleaned, so I'm not sure. And I really don't care. I mean, that might sound callous, but I don't like sewing. I really do need to just stick with what I keep on saying and leave sewing to people who are awesome at it. I just have this massive fabric addiction. I just love fabric. It's an addiction. It's so pretty. And the holidays come in, and oh my gosh. But I just need to bear it and just deal and leave the amazing sewers to the sewing. But this is my bag, and I gave it some boxed corners because it's going to be crochet month for granny squares, and that's going to be big projects, right? So I need some room. So this is going to hold my granny project of the moment when I'm on the go, and I would have done something aside from a drawstring, but this is the best I could do by hand in a very impatient mode. I mean, it's pretty cool for being hand sewn. I gave it a boxed corner. Sewn by hand. That's amazing. So, for me. But I will enjoy this. And I do enjoy hand sewn projects. I'm not amazing at it, but I really enjoy it. So, that is my next finished object, my skirt and bag. And I did dye some yarn, but I'm going to go ahead and share that with the whips that I dyed it for, because I was dyeing yarn to go along with a shawl, and it's the third color. So let's move on to the whips, my works in progress. The ultraviolet cowl. I enjoy the ultraviolet cowl. Purple is my favorite color, and I have collected, I can't see one of these and not buy it. I think I have 7 of these total. This is number 5 in the project that I'm going to share with you guys. And I will say, we're just going to go completely out of order. I got my first tulip crochet hook. And I usually share things that are new with you guys before using them, but I was so excited. So I cracked it open. And it's amazing. I got the eye hook, so I needed worsted weight yarn, right? And I wanted to use it. And ultraviolet is starting, so I got my ultraviolet yarn, which is Vanna's Choice in electric purple, and it's beautiful. So I just started chaining. and made a sweater for someone else, apparently, because this is what I thought it was for me. I measured, but the problem is I measure myself at my widest point and tell myself that's what I am everywhere. And no. So this is what I have so far. I just started chaining. I think I got to 60 wide chain on an eye hook, and this, I don't want to stop even though I don't like what I've got so far. I put so much into it. I'm going to make it something and I'm going to use it. That's where I am at this point. I don't exactly know which side is going to be the front or the back. I probably would be safer making this the front at this point, or adding on a whole bunch to this point, because this is low. I'm not sure what. Yeah. But no shame here. I mean, I play with yarn. It's what I do. Most of the time I don't have a pattern. Most of the projects I share with you guys, I do have a pattern, and I like to share both, but this was just one of those things. I just, size-wise, it got a little out of hand. So I am going to add sleeves to it. I'm also going to, for some reason, I only sewed the sides up to there. That's crazy. I need to sew about, I think I estimated I need 6 more rows to have a side on it, which is cool. And then I'm going to put some sleeves on it, and I'm just going to make a great big boxy sweater. And I'm going to probably, since crochet comes out so easily, I'm just going to put like a little something that can cinch this just a bit, and this might end up being the back. So I'm playing. This is my ULTRAVIOLETTKAL fun in Vanna's electric purple, and it's fun. I'm using my brand new tulip eye hook that I need the set. I think I need the whole set. I have it already up on Amazon. It's in the cart, and I think that trigger's about to be pulled. Probably my first purchase of Birthmonth. So I will keep you guys posted, and hopefully if I do order it, it gets here fast, because that's the best part about making choices, is instant gratification. And I could see me using more worsted weight yarn. I have so much acrylic worsted weight. I could see me making more patterns of just like things to wear like this. This was very oversized, if you will. Apparently I'm going up for the football team. I've got some shoulders on me this week. Maybe I just shrunk overnight. But I did greet my husband while I was wearing it over a tank top, because yeah, and I was sharing it, but I'm like, how do you like it? And he's like, he's a really nice person, and he's just like trying not to say it looks terrible, and he's just like, and he was so tired, because like I mentioned, it's crazy work week. But I love the yarn. I love my tulip eye hook. I cannot wait to get more of them. And even though it doesn't fit and I'm not sure which way is going to be the front, I kind of love my crazy sweater. Maybe I'll just wear it around the house. I have another project, and this one has not actually grown very much since I last shared it with you guys. This is my Holy Smokes by Rosina, Zines and Rogers. I think I said at, but I love it. Her cane stitch, well, she said other people created it, she's just sharing it, which totally awesome. Give credit everywhere else. That's what I always say. I'm like, I have never had an original thought. I have not. So anything I'm doing is probably a culmination of 7 other patterns, and I'm always happy to give credit if I'm lucky enough to remember where I got it. But she shared the cane stitch, which, I mean, it was new to me, and it's amazing, and I want to see it in other things. And she taught it to us, and then she made a video, which, go her. So if you are curious about the cane stitch, even if you're not making this shawl, which you should make this shawl, but even if you're not, you can know how to do it, because it's really cool. It reminds me of the wicker in the furniture in the 80s, and I am an 80s buff. But this shawl, this texture that she has in the solid area, can I get a good line on that? There it is. It's magical. and it's fun, and it's the same thing over and over again, but it's different each stitch, which is kind of like why I love the seed stitch in knitting. It's easy to remember, but texture and pretty and color play, and I love it. But I had no idea what to go next with the color, and in the back of my head I said green, and I looked over and I'm like, I shouldn't buy more yarn. Birthmonth is coming. So I dyed yarn. I've had this base in stock for, I forget how many I bought. I bought quite a few, so I've had it for a few months. And it's very linen-y. It reminds me a lot of Hedgehog Fibers sock. So it's almost a linen-y feel. It's thin and linen-y, and I like it for shawls. I don't know if I'd make socks out of it. I've never seen any Hedgehog Fibers sock in a pair of socks. It just holds the color so well and everything. Well, this is not Hedgehog Fibers, but this is Medusa in Hedgehog Fibers. So I wanted something that wouldn't distract from this blue, which is Madeline Tosh Merino Light. So single ply in Fathom. And I think this is it. What do you guys think? I think I got it. It wasn't easy to get this color. There is a lot of yellow in here, and then it looked a little bit flat, and I didn't, so I achieved kind of a very turquoisey teal color, which wasn't right. I wanted emerald. So I added a lot of yellow, like an astonishing amount of yellow, and I got my green right, and it was tonal. It's super tonal in there. I love it. And then I wanted some interest, like nothing crazy, but just some interest. So after taking it out and rinsing it, I put it in the pan for baking, and I sprinkled, guess what I sprinkled? Guess what color it is? And can you tell? I'll give you a second. This is the best part about dyeing yarn. That is fluorescent pink, like deep fluorescent fuchsia. And I knew that if I had put purple on here, it's going to be black. I wouldn't mind a black speckle, but this is not a black and green shawl. This is a blue and green shawl. I wanted something oceany colored. And I'm like, I don't want to make it muddy, because green is of course blue and yellow primaries, and if I add red, I'm getting brown and black. So I'm like, okay, so I just need a little red. So I got pink, but I wanted it bright. So it kind of turned electric blue and purple, and I could not be more pleased with myself. You would have think I invented yarn. So, but I'm really pleased, and I love it very much. It smells good. Tufts linens. Oh, since when I do the speckle on top after and bake it, since it doesn't get boiled in, there's so much bleeding. It bleeds and bleeds, and I have to just wash and wash. That's why I have amazing dry knuckles and stuff. But I love it, and I can't wait to throw it in. I'm gonna throw this in the shawl. Ooh, I could totally do it tonight. And then at 12 o'clock, I can start my first granny square. I know, I'm probably taking this more seriously than I should. When Rosina mentioned it, I was the most enthusiastic person on earth. I'm like, I'm making everything granny in February. It's my month. This is my wedding anniversary month, Valentine's Day, and my birthday month. So this is my month. I love this month. February is like it for me. So I celebrate the entire month and spoil myself rotten. My husband's so nervous. I'm kind though. I'm careful, but I have fun. So look at that. Oh, I can't with that. Okay. So that is my holy smokes, and this is my first bit of yarn that I dyed up. And this is just for fun. This is that hot fuchsia that I was talking. These laid together after they were rinsed in the baking pan, and I baked on the speckle. Boop. She's been outside drying for the afternoon. Isn't that pretty? I'm pretty proud of it. But that's the color. It's kind of like a fluorescent purple, and this is really condensed on top of an already tonal blue yarn. That's why it's looking as purple as it is. But let me see, what's it look like when it's, that's really close to its natural state, and that's what turned purpley navy blue over on the other yarn, which I was just so happy. It was midnight. I shouldn't have even been awake, but I do love to dye yarn after everybody's gone to sleep. So this is this one, just for fun. I threw it in some blue. I think this has a little turquoise and a whole lot of true brilliant blue, and it's very watered down. Normally those would be really dark. So very diluted, and it barely got a dip, and then I put it in by itself and boiled it up so it would steam. So the green and the blue, they're not bleeding at all. But that purple, because of the way you do it afterward, oh, it does love to bleed. And I cannot stand the idea of sending anybody yarn that might bleed on another yarn. I warn them, and I always put in there, even whether I'm selling it or gifting it, please be careful, because I have rinsed and vinegared and citric acided and steamed, but it might still bleed. I've been complimented many times on how little my reds and pinks bleed, because reds and pinks are notorious, but I always warn. I just can't stand the idea of destroying somebody's project. Ooh, let's see. I want to make sure I'm not skipping anything. While I was at the yarn store and got my tulip, I was there for ribbon yarn because MARICITAS Colors came out with a really cute ruffled skirt, and she used ribbon yarn. MARICITA Colors is over on her YouTube channel. She comes out with free patterns all the time, and she's so wonderful. I want to say she's from Peru, and most of her videos are in Spanish, but she does them in English also. And I think she's in Germany though. So she has these beautiful patterns, and they're so much fun, and she put out this really cute springy summery skirt with ruffles on it, and I wanted to make it, but she used a ribbon yarn, and I'm like, I googled and searched and eBayed and everything, but without seeing it in person I wasn't going to be able to be sure, and you need quite a quantity of it. So I'm like, I'm probably going to end up using I Love This Cotton for it. But I was there was no ribbon yarn. I got my tulip and I was hanging out. I was over in Farmersville, and that's the really big yarn store. It's one of those, I'm not even going to say one of those yarn stores. There are no yarn stores like this one. It's massive, and it's frighteningly close to my home. So I take the pilgrimage pretty frequently and go down there. But it's been a while since I was there, because like I said, January I really rein it and pull in the reins. In December I pull in the reins just because life is crazy. So I don't think I had been there for a couple months. And I go in and I'm walking upstairs in the back corner, and they had undyed yarn. And I have the bases that I've worked with. Some are my favorites, some are not my favorites. A lot of times I'm just trying new and different ones. But they had a new sock yarn to me. It was sock weight, but it is 100% wool superwash, and I just had to. So I got 10 or 20 of them, I forget, and it's so soft and so smooshy, but weird because it's thick. Like, let me get a strand. Okay, here's a loop of this. Give me a loop of you. And granted, this is thinner than average, but it's just so much thicker. It's just, it poofed like crazy. Now, it's 415 yards per 100 gram skein, and I dyed it up. It took the dye like a champ. I was so happy, and it dries so nice. It smells good, so it holds good scent like that. And this is for me. It's going to be a cowl. and I'm really pleased. I'm glad I got it. It's so soft. So that's where I am with that. And that I dyed this up. I think I dyed the other ones sooner than I probably would have because I couldn't wait to see how this dyes up. And it's so poofy. Oh my goodness, it's not like any other sock yarn I've ever dyed up. It's even poofier than my Heritage sock yarn, which I've always considered rather poofy. Here we go. Boop. Come here. Yeah, I always considered this poofy. And this is, I don't know if you could even tell. It's only 2 plies, but ooh, such loft. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to use it. Oh my gosh, it's so soft. So, very excited about that. I wanted to use this in the shawl. It's just a little too light and bright. It distracted from the darker colors. I didn't want it to. So, moving right along, other works in progress. We have Claudia. Claudia, how are you? She's making me happy lately. She has 2 cals going on. Not at the moment. I think we're still in the process. The first one is the ornament along, and I love making little things. I'm in several groups where we make little ornaments and things like that, so I cannot wait to share them because usually I just make them and stash them. But for Claudia, we are making a box of ornaments, so I had to get a box. I haven't made any yet, but I got the box. Isn't that cute? So it's gonna go over on my yarn stash area and just make me happy. I got it over, how much did I pay? It was $6 over at Tuesday Morning. They have such cute boxes. So very happy, cannot wait. But my other Claudia thing that I have going on is that she's having the fortune cookie along. And we are supposed to share our fortune from our fortune cookie before it starts. So let's do that, shall we? I am going to share my fortune. Okay. So I'm going to click it. Then you tap out this app. Before you can be reborn, you must die. Okay. Now, normally I would consider that a questionable fortune, but I can work with that. I can crochet with that. So that's my thing. Okay. So we'll work with that. Wait, I better take a screen snap of that because what are the odds I'm going to remember? Awesome. Okay, so we're all set with Claudia, and I'm ready for my ornaments, and I'm ready for my fortune cookie along. I wonder if I can do something that has to do with dyeing and granny squares. So next for me is a little package that I received from Rosina over at Zines and Roger, and oh my gosh, she's so sweet. She had yarn that said my name. I was so excited. She's like, well, I'll send it to you. I'm like, no way. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I have to send you something too. My package is, by the time I had sent my package, I had already received hers. I'm not usually that slow, but getting to the mail can be hard, and I just love collecting stuff. So hopefully she likes hers and it gets there soon. It's at Heathrow right now. So I'm stalking it, making sure it doesn't disappear. I worry about customs, but I sent something to Canada the other day and I didn't sign the customs paper and they didn't stop it. But so I was so glad. When I sent Rosina hers and had to sign the customs paper, I said to myself, I know for sure I did not do that with my package to Canada the other day. I did not sign that. But hers got signed, so I'm optimistic. But look at this. Look at it, matches me. And it's my name. Can you believe that? Oh, I need more. Because how do you not have yarn that says your name on it? It's amazing. Thank you so much. I need more. It's so squishy. And I love what she made out of hers. I think mine is going to be a scarf, just like gray and green. It's super awesome. It's going to be, it has alpaca in it. Alpaca is my favorite fiber. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting just one strand. It's fussing with me. I think that's one strand. It's like fingering weight. It's like super thin, but then it's bulky because it's got the fun on the outside. Isn't it awesome? Oh, I love it. But it is from Drops, which I've always wanted to make an order with Drops and just like get a bunch of different things. Normally I'm like, I don't want to order a yarn that I haven't seen, but I could see me getting 1 and 2 of different ones from Drops because that's less of an investment per kind of yarn. And I love just bunches of things sent my way. So I think that I would totally have no remorse from a Drops order. The gauge is 10 by 10, 4 inch by 4 inch on 7 millimeters. So a size 10 needle, or what kind of hook would they suggest? Give me a hook. They don't say, but bulky weight. I think I'd feel secure using a J or a K on this. So I'm just gonna make it fun. Something enjoyable. I'll have to get another tulip. I'd say an I, but this would be too small for bulky. And you get 153 yards for 50 grams, which is a lot in bulky. It says 71% alpaca, 25% wool, and 4% polyamide for some strength, I imagine. And oh, it's so nice. I can't wait to have it. Maybe it should be a granny style. Ooh, she has a new cowl, a granny cowl. I wonder if I could use this for it. I could always supplement with something else if I need more. What do you think? Do you think this would be enough for it? I need it. Okay. So she sent me 3 balls of that, which is fabulous. And it's all in this gorgeous organza. I'm going to put the letter over here. She's so sweet. But organza bag, which is amazing. And she sent me, this is so cool. And I'm going to use it like, now, I want to make socks out of it. But nothing that I would destroy, because this is 100% wool, and it's local to her. She got it when she was on a trip, and they happen to have sheep, and these sheep, oh, look at them. Aren't they gorgeous? And it says Daryl and Frida Pilkington are raising them. Oh, but Teeswater is the kind of sheep they are, and I cannot wait to use this. It is fingering weight, 100 grams, so probably about 400 yards. Did I read that? About 350, so it'll be thick. Oh my gosh. And so pretty. I love it. Thank you so much. Oh, that is awesome. That is unlike anything I felt. It is soft, but it feels strong, if that makes sense. But so nice. And you can see I'll be able to get such stitch definition out of that. Maybe some socks with some texture in them. It's so hard to make textured socks out of all the speckled things because I don't like the way things pool, but this could be amazing in a pair of socks. This is beautiful though. Thank you so much. And she sent me a paint box. See, now, I've never had paint box yarns, and this is Simply DK. I've never been able to touch it, and people show it to me on Instagram all the time, and it's so hard to see yarn that you can't touch, you know what I mean? But speaking of yarn that you can't touch, I have, oh my gosh, we've talked about this before. I want Special DK. She sent me, I almost cried when I saw it. This is the other one because I've already swatched it. I'm going to swatch it with everybody else pretty quick, but I couldn't not swatch it. So, but Oh, and I do need more. I've always filled up carts with Special DK and never pulled the trigger because I haven't touched it and I haven't seen the colors in real life. So now I know it's amazing and I need blankets out of it. So now I get to order it. So I'm very excited. So she sent me light gray, which is awesome, and bright green, which is awesome. And I'm not sure what I'm going to make out of them, but I'm really excited. And I love green. It's her color too. She likes green. So she sent me the 2 of those and a bunch of chocolate that didn't make it this far because it was chocolate. Sorry. I just love chocolate. I wanted to save one. I haven't had the Smarties. Are they good? I have never tried Smarties, but she sent me dairy milk. Oh my gosh, it was so good. But she also sent me, I didn't know Puka was English. It says right on the back though. And this, oh my gosh, she sent me all the flavors because I love tea. And actually I have the peppermint licorice already. It's one of my very favorites. But these are all going to be fabulous. Thank you so much. I love tea. And I have another yarn that, because I was looking for what is going to be comparable, because I wanted to swatch something that we have familiar here with the Special DK so we can kind of get a mental picture. So I grabbed this to swatch with it with you guys. So we'll swatch that in my special swatchly ways. Aside from that, I am close to finished. I did purchase some cotton because Amber over at Yarn Hoarder, the podcast, is doing a dishcloth along. Crochet, knitted, everybody's included, one dishcloth a week. I'm catching up slowly, and I do have a pattern that I'm working on for a dishcloth for Valentine's Day that I do want to share, which I'm excited about. So I got some different colors in cotton. I figured, I have a little bit of cotton. This is my cotton stash. So I just keep it all in a bin and it stays together, and when I want to work on a dishcloth, I do. So I have been working on more neutral colors lately, and this is one I found this week that's so pretty. Isn't that pretty? I love this cotton. And what are they calling this? This is Paris in June. And oh my gosh, so pretty. And I'll be able to get 2 dishcloths out of these. And each one of these always gives me 2 dishcloths. So very cool. Also, if you're just looking for a quick gift, one dishcloth and some face scrubbies out of one of these. So I keep a hook and all my cotton together all the time, and I'm really excited to get all caught up. I think I've made 1 dishcloth, and you're supposed to share your dishcloth every Monday, and I completely forgot this last Monday. But that's just how January goes because I am just making like crazy. One other, oh man, they're falling out of my ears. Another along is there were some people over on the Twinkie Chan Ravelry group, and they were wondering where Twinkie's been. So I kind of chimed in that she's over on Instagram all the time. She has not disappeared by any means. I was chit-chatting a bit, and I suggested that we all maybe make a project either from one of her patterns or inspired by it. So I'm working with them over there, and this is going to be my pancake scarf. So I know, sophisticated, but I don't care. It's so cute. Took me a while to get some colors chosen because I would have preferred this be just a little roastier brown, and I thought for a bit, that's why I got the neutral colored in cotton. Maybe I'll make it in cotton. I don't love the way it looks in cotton. I think fun things like this and character hats just look better in acrylic and they last forever. So I went with the gold and the Aran from Red Heart Super Saver. And then I'm going to put some syrup splashes on them, and every other one will have a pat of butter. So I was going to do syrup the way she has it with the maple, so the deeper brown, but I'm thinking I might do alternate, like do purple for boysenberry syrup and like red for strawberry syrup. Just go full IHOP, you know? So that is where I am with this. I've made 2 circles. I just wanted to, there's no pattern. So you kind of have to find what feels good. And this is what feels good for me. This is total pancake for me. So I need probably about 15, and they take no time at all. So that is on the go. Hopefully I have enough. I think I will. They hardly take any yarn at all to make a circle. Also, please come and visit us over on the Ravelry group. Melody Crochet Podcast is the group's name. And I'm over on Facebook. I'm linking below, and that is going to be Less Neglected. I went ahead and did some housekeeping on it. It's been around forever. I have people that have been on there forever, but it needs a new, fresh face, and I'm hoping to try Facebook Live on there a few times. So if you have suggestions, I would love them below. Well, that's about it for me today. I cannot wait to see you guys for the next month. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. My question of the day is, what is your favorite hat pattern? Knitted, crocheted, free, paid? I'm open. What is your very favorite hat pattern that you make? Or maybe you find yourself making over and over again. Maybe you see other people make it and each time it makes you drool. I have a few that I love. And are you making anything for the granny along? Do you have suggestions? Because yay! I'm excited. Take good care, guys. Bye.